Welcome back to the channel where the Minnesota weather has still decided we're not going racing just yet. I wanted to get the FRS out last weekend and it was like 49 degrees, so that didn't happen. So I thought I'd put a different video together for you. This would be an excellent time to do a flashback video of the right-hand drive Civic that I built at one time. And I campaigned that car for probably 6 years after it being in the garage for 5 years. It did end up looking just like that because that is the car. But the story on that car was I brought it to Minnesota from California when I moved here in '04. It was a stock left-hand drive DX, clean car. It was all stock. And I decided I would build one more Honda, which didn't really pan out because I have a couple more Hondas still, and that one in the back corner is getting built similar to the way that the right-hand drive did. But what I wanted to do was build a turbo car that I could drag race, drive it on the streets, things of that nature. So the car spent 5 years in the garage, and I stripped it all the way down. During the build process, I found a right-hand drive front clip. Back in those days, people would buy the front clip from Japan just to pull the engine out of it, and then they weren't really going to do anything with the rest of it. So I bought the right-hand drive front clip with the firewall, steering rack, and all of that, and decided, well, I've got the right-hand drive torn down this far, might as well do the right-hand drive conversion because, again, this is my last Honda, right? Yeah, right. Now, if you're considering building a right-hand drive, the number one reason to do it is because chicks love it. Even my mother-in-law loved it. I did finally get the car out and running. It was a right-hand drive, LSV Tech. The LSV Tech was stock, turbo kit, 60-1. And we eventually had it tuned to like 450 or something like that. Really fun on the streets. It was out, it was right-hand drive. I had a 10-inch subwoofer in the back. Life was good. Once we got the car out, 450 horsepower, it was awesome. Driving around town, going to little meets and stuff. And we started taking that out to the track. And shortly to realize that I didn't know anything about computer settings. At that time I thought, well, I don't know, you throw 450 horsepower to something and you just hammer it right off the line and everything works, and that's not how that works. What ended up happening was I thought, well, I'll just feather it with my foot if it starts spinning. So in a turbo car, especially a front wheel drive, you're going to launch with no boost, and that car will dead hook and bog the engine down, followed by ramping up boost in first gear, and you shift into second, you've got full boost, now it goes into spin, and you make a real fool out of yourself. So we eventually did get the car running with good settings and started taking it out to the track more. Started really going to the track a lot with my friend Jake Monins. And he had a hatchback as well, H22 swap turbo. It was a lot of fun going out with him and just making each other better, just having fun doing it. One of the first real races I remember was against Koo Lee. Local guy here from Team Brooklyn. What up, Koo? And when I was first coming out there, he was one of the faster guys with Nate, who's still the fastest guy in the state. And I would go out to Brainerd for our import event, and you know, I was the right-hand drive guy with the subwoofer in the back. So these guys are like, who's this guy? Okay, whatever. He's got a turbo. I don't know. At that time, I was out there running like mid-12s or something like that. Then the following year, I was out at Rock Falls Raceway for Import Day, and the fastest cars there, I was down in the low 11s just searching for my first 10. And Cooley was there with his blue hatchback, and we were the 2 fastest cars. The rest of them were all real super high-pitched buzzers, you know, 15, 16-second cars. So I told Koo, you know, let's line them up and see what we got. And at that time, I was still the subwoofer right-hand drive guy, no big deal. So we lined them up, and that was probably one of my favorite races just because I had been working on my car, working on it, and I think I surprised you a little bit there, Koo, because I almost got you.
Not bad.
I almost had you, man. But it was a real cool race. I actually broke a turbo oil line. The stainless line arced on the battery or the alternator, cut the line. So at the end of the run, you hear the tires spin a little bit, and that was a little bit of oil getting on those tires. I'm not making any excuses. It was an awesome race. Koo won, and at that time, Rock Falls was not known as a great racetrack. So I ran 11:15 at a junk track, so that was pretty good. So then we started going a little bit further. Ended up cracking the sleeve on the stock LS block, and so that required getting the block sleeved. There was a lot more upgrades, especially with the transmission, which front-wheel drive drag cars, they know all about that, braking transmissions if it's not a fully built unit, braking axles, just the constant breakage of parts and building them up to be stronger. So we finally get out to Proving Grounds, an import event that's held twice a year up at Brainerd, and I'm right here for my first 10-second run, and we tested all Friday. I must have been like 11:10 or 11:05 or something crazy, and we were out drinking that night. And the next morning I said, the car runs best when it's cold. So I'm not gonna warm it up or anything. I'm just gonna go right up to the line and just give it.
A little bit before noon. At 12 o'clock high, 12 noon, we will regroup and get ready for elimination to go. We will play the national anthem, the ceremony that we do in preparation for the elimination round. We have about 20 minutes before that. At this point, qualifying will cease, and we will move straight into.
And that's what I did, and it wasn't my best decision because a car obviously needs to be warmed up so you don't hurt parts. But I went up there and got it. It ran 1093 or something like that, and I was so jacked. So now I've got my first 10-second run under my belt. I'm king shit, right? Here's actually a picture of my first 10-second run, still up there. Real proud moment. It's a lot of work to go from like an 11.5 to 10. There's just a ton of work involved in getting that extra half second. But I did end up getting that and then chipping away at it a little bit more.
Got all the stealth mode here. Put some new cams in his car.
Low cams?
Some Lopi webcams.
So then I go out and we're out at test day at Proving Grounds in Brainerd. And lined up against a blue WRX. He happened to double bulb me, which makes me even more aggressive if you do that to me. And I stomped him really well and ended up running my fastest time, which was 1070 at 142. Not bad for a little right-hand drive. One of the Proving Grounds events where the car was 713 horsepower with the turbo and all that stuff, I was racing in Real Street Unlimited. It's a turbo class. In previous years, you would have had to run like a deep 10 to be winning it. And I was running a 1070 and started going rounds in this class. You know, anything can happen. You get a buy run. These are Hondas, so a lot of them in the other lane or in your own lane will break something. It's just very common. So you just try to crack off round by round. So I end up in the final round against a red four-door from like South Dakota. Time-wise, I had this guy covered all day, so I wasn't worried about anything. I'm out there taking pictures of the car while he's icing down his engine and stuff. But when it comes to the race, nothing is guaranteed. So my transmission the synchros were definitely going out. His were going out. He was having some other issues, and I thought, I was having trouble getting the car into fourth gear down track. It would just give me nothing. So I thought, well, if I get into fourth gear, we're good. And what happened was I jumped out on him, 1, 2, 3. I'm still out front. Things are good. I go to hit fourth and it just nothing. There's nothing there. It's like a brick wall. And I thought, oh no. So I'm putting the clutch back in and I finally get it into fourth gear. Now I've got to build the boost back up. So I hammer it and I hear him coming. My boost is starting to come up. And he comes up and I'm starting to get my boost going. We cross the line like neck and neck. I wasn't even sure who won, but he ended up getting me by that much. And that's why we race. It's not about, oh, I got this guy covered all day. It takes quite a bit out of the car sometimes, just going rounds and banging it down the track. But that was a ton of fun because I got second place, but that was the first time I really ever kind of went rounds, and it's fun because you just one after the next. It's just exciting. I never got the car much faster than the 1070. We had some more parts breakage and stuff like that. We had always been racing with the Canadians. Hello, Canadians. Hey. There's a group of Canadians up in Thunder Bay called Team Canada, is what I call them anyway. And we've been racing with them for years. And one of the Canadians has a Turbo Integra, Lindsay, a boy with a girl's name. And an Integra that was running right about that 1070 time with me. So we had a lot of fun making each other better, challenging each other. Up there, they call it chirping ya. So me and Lindsay are out there racing. Probably my second most memorable race was against Lindsay late on a Saturday afternoon, and all the Canadians were up there. We had just been jawing at each other. Oh, yeah. Well, Canadians aren't really known for cutting good lights, so I'm not really worried about it. Lindsay's car is getting a little faster. I can feel it's about to get faster than the 1070 that we were running side by side. But I didn't worry about it because I knew I had like a half second on him at the lights because the guy's just dozing off all the time.
how this
That's the difference between the American burnout. American
Oh, he double bulbs? I know where the line is.
And sure enough, he did doze off on that one too. I jumped his ass pretty good. And ended up, I think he actually ran a little bit faster than me, but I ran 1070 at 141. But I still got him because I was at the end of the track first because I had jumped his ass on the line. So that was a lot of fun. It was right after that Brainerd race and me and Lindsay's little rivalry that the FRS came along from Full Blown Motorsports. They said, hey, we build it, we tune it, you're the guy crazy enough to drive it, and I was all in with that. So the right-hand drive took kind of a back seat. There's no sense in trying to do two cars at once, as you can tell. So I always try to do just one car at once, and the FRS was gonna be what I drove. We put a B20 VTEC into the right-hand drive and still drove it around on the streets. Actually took it to Hot Import Nights and had a lot of fun, set it up real nice. One hottest Honda. Minneapolis, that was 2014. That was a lot of fun. We went out there with my group of friends. We called ourselves Team Ballistics. And we ended up, I think we got like hottest team and all that stuff. We had a couple more awards, and the right-hand drive won hottest Honda. But of course, you know, we're still driving it around on the streets and going to take it to the track for the import event up at Brainerd. No tire changes or anything. It was, what was that? It was 226 horsepower on that LS VTEC. Had some cams and just minor stuff, but 226 horsepower to the wheels. And I decided I'm going to drive it up there on the little rubber band street tires. No changes whatsoever. I'm just going to drive it, have a good time. And if I happen to go rounds in the all motor class, then even better. The greatest part about that car was in the all motor outfit was that it ran 13.6, the fastest I ever got that car on the street wheels and tires. No changes, just run it down the track was 13.6. Now, in NHRA, you can have a passenger in your car if the car is 14 seconds or slower. Well, 13.6, running 13.6, you put another body with that much weight in the passenger seat, and now the car will run 14.0, 14.1. It was just the awesomest car on a Saturday to be out there testing all day and having a good time. Old man Tony from a previous video with the CRX parts, I told him, hey Tony, jump on in, here's a helmet, we're gonna go have some fun. And you know, it was just like taking friends down the track all day, like, yeah, cool. On Sunday, I ended up winning the all motor class. Most of those cars are going to be, you know, like stock K series cars and things like that. So I had just a little bit of an edge and probably some driving experience on those cats and was able to win the all motor class. I ended up selling the right-hand drive to a local guy that I had known for quite a while. And his name's Dylan. He lives locally. He just I mean, it took a couple years, 2 or 3 years after he acquired the car, but now he's got a V16 turbo, just a basic setup into it. And he got it out a couple times last year, so hopefully this year we'll see it out some more. But yeah, car's still local and having a good time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to put this together with the footage that I have and the videos that I have for a long time, just because the car was very special to me, and now it can be all in one little video. So that's the story about the right-hand drive. We have another car that I will be building, the CRX. This reminds me a lot of the right-hand drive because it's torn all the hell down, and everybody looks at it and says, what are you possibly ever gonna do with that? With that right-hand drive, I guarantee you I had it torn down way further than that. I could walk through the whole thing. So this is not bad. So if you like this video, hit subscribe. We're gonna be going to the racetrack here real soon with the FRS and showing all that good stuff, having a good time, doing some CRX stuff when that's not going on. And we will see you next time.